The third thing we know is calling works, right? Now we know if you text, you're going to get a faster response. But we also understand at a certain point, you got to go from this modality to this modality to this modality if you want to win. So I'm going to give you two scripts, right? Two dialogues to play around with. The first one is if you have a past client you haven't talked to in a long time, you have someone that you've neglected, you have something that you're guilty because you're like, oh, I just haven't talked to him forever. You don't want to call and go, oh, Ron Burgum, I haven't talked to you forever and I just feel terrible. This script, combination of Tom Ferry and Phil Jones, who wrote the book Exactly What to Say, is called an OFQ, an opening fact question script, an opening fact question. Opening, easy. Fact, undeniable, easy to answer question. Hey, Ron, Tom Ferry, Banana Real Estate. I helped you guys buy your home in Del Mar at 1234 Banana Street in 2012. It's been forever, Ron. Do you guys still live at that address? Easy to answer question. Do you guys still live at that address? Yeah, Tom, we still got that place, and we actually ended up buying a house out in the desert. And oh, great! So we're just back in dialogue now. I haven't talked to this person in a while. The easy way, oh, I just feel so horrible, and I just haven't talked to you in forever. That's not a power position, right? And like you don't want to start there. Instead, show how good you are. You remember something about every transaction you ever did, something about that house, something about the street, something about something that was going on in the home. And this is where you show your expertise. Hey, Ron, do you guys still live at that address? Yeah, we still live there. You know, I was thinking about you guys the other day. Did you guys ever remove that giant oak tree that, the roots were starting to get up under the fence, and we saw the fence kind of adjusting and you weren't sure did you guys ever fix that? Oh yeah, man, we had to take that thing out. It was a monster project, but so glad we did. We put it in a pool. Just like that. That client is like, he sold my house in 2012. He remembers that detail. I forgot about that detail. That's right. Ron's my guy. Tom's my agent. That little opening, that little fact, that little question, and then the reminder of something about the transaction, which you remember on every deal. You just got to look at the house, look at the file, the something, and boom, you'll be like, oh, that's right. Then you say, hey, there's been a lot of national data shared about the real estate market. When was the last time you guys had a local look at home prices and an equity checkup? Gosh, Tom, it's actually been forever. Well, hey, why don't I run something for you, and then I can deliver it to your house, and then we can just have a conversation over it. And just like that, you're back in the game. So any neglected clients, especially that are 6 years out, 7 years out, 8 years out, 9 years out, 10 years out, those are all prime listing opportunities right now because of the slide I showed you earlier. The equity run-up that they've experienced has been tremendous. Even if you're in a place where maybe you had to give back a few points, they're still up 60% on average. So huge opportunity. Make sure you're paying attention. Now, pros only, a little more advanced, right? If I can just get you to start asking every single person you run into, after you build a little rapport, after you engage, so again, like I used the example earlier, it's like a guy meets a gal around sex, right? It's not that. It's Ron, it's been forever. How you been, man? What shaking bacon? Heard you moved to, and what's going on, and how you doing with this, and how are the kids, and what's happening, and we're just engaging. This is like, I was in Toronto recently, and I was saying this, and my client Jeff jumped up, and he's like, yeah, like I'm at the hockey match. My son's playing hockey. Guy walks out to me. He's a Remax agent. He's like, people ask me all the time, hey, what's going on in the market? Like, what's happening? He's like, well, a little update, not a lot of inventory, a lot of demand, even high rises, this, that, da-da-da, downtown Toronto market. And then he's like, hey, by the way, I got to ask, like, have you had any thoughts of selling? Have you had any thoughts of selling? Now, heads up, every lady knows what I'm talking about when I say this. Every lady knows what I'm talking about. And someone says, what about your sphere? You're going to ask every one of your past clients and sphere the same question. Engage, have a dialogue. Hey, have you guys had any thoughts of selling? And every woman knows you're walking through the department store on a beeline because you got to go get that dress because you got a function tomorrow and there's nothing in your closet that makes you happy. So you're walking towards the dress department. Salesperson walks up. Hi, can I help you? You're like, no, I'm just looking. No, I'm just looking. And you race towards the dress department. I'm not calling you a liar, but most human beings have this smokescreen no because they're not ready for the question, right? They don't want to talk about it. So I ask every person I know, have you had any thoughts of selling? And they go, no. And then I go, really? You don't know? You've never like even thought about selling your house? Like, really? And they go, well, the truth is we just don't know where to go and we're not sure. And just like that, I'm in a healthy conversation. So if you don't add, Lauren, you got to add the really, because most are going to say, no, we love this house. We're going to stay here forever. Really? You've had no thoughts of selling? Really? Like in this market with how much appreciation, no thoughts of selling? And they go, well, we're on sale all the time. The problem is there's no nice homes for sale and we don't know what to do. And bang, you're in the game. Don't be an amateur and ask the question and not follow up with a really. Now, the other question is, do you know anybody who's had thoughts of selling? Do you know anybody who's had thoughts of selling? No, Tom, we don't know anybody. You don't know anyone who's had thoughts of selling? Well, I didn't want to say it, but my sister's getting a divorce and she doesn't want it public, but they got to sell their house. And I was going to call you anyway, but that's what happens when you ask questions like, do you know anybody that's had any thoughts of selling? When it's intelligent, not like out of the gate sex, like asking questions, building rapport, having a dialogue, having empathy, finding out what's going on in their world, and then making sure you say, hey, I got to ask you, there's not a lot of nice homes on the market. And when they do, they sell real quick. Do you happen to know anybody who's had any thoughts of selling? Gosh, no, we don't. You don't know anyone? You don't know anyone who's had thoughts of selling? Well, the truth is my mother-in-law, blah, 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 and they all open up. But you got to go from amateur to pro. And the pro doesn't take the automatic no. They say, really? Really? Or you don't know anybody? Yeah, I know. I get the sex thing just makes everybody laugh. So I appreciate the ha-ha there. And of course, the last question is, hey, I'm curious, do you know anybody that tried to sell in the past and it didn't work out? There's expired listings happening every day. Do you know anybody that tried to sell in the past and it didn't work out? Because nothing better than to be referred to someone that tried to sell with an amateur and now they get you as a pro.